All right, all right, all right. This is From Me Unto Unity. This is the Housing Justice Strategy Meeting. Uh, I forget what is that? Okay, we're talking about June 7th, 2022. We're getting it started. We've been having a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Uh, for myself, for Me Unto Unity, for the advocates and activists that has joined the fight for the Atlanta Justice Housing. We have been coming up short. To put it in a few words, we've been coming up short. And we need to really get the education to our people to let us know, because our elected officials have turned their backs on us. They have not been helping us. They have not been living up to their job descriptions. And we, the people, have to step up. In times like this, we have to step up and we have to do for us. No one is coming to save us. We see that. We done seen it from when the Olympics came in Atlanta and they shut down our housing projects. We done seen this before. This is nothing new to us. We have short-term memory. I say that's our major problem. We have short-term memory. But now it's time to step up. It's time to take responsibility, and it's time to know our legal rights and to take care of self. Rebuild that village. I want to start off by giving our two brothers the floor. They went to the full council meeting yesterday, Atlanta City Hall full council meeting. I want to get them the floor right quick. Let's start off with our elder brother, James Davenport. Go ahead, brother. Brother, thank you on mute. James Davenport. Go ahead, brother.
I see it now. Yeah, thank you, brother Lee. Yesterday was wild and Willie. It was effective, however, it seemed to have fallen on deaf ears as usual. And as I mentioned on several occasions, from the peanut gallery, I was blurting out, for instance, Miss Darton, the elderly woman in Peoplestown, she mentioned the fact she approached the mic, and as always, the mayor has promised her the situation would be rectified. However, three mayors since, nothing has changed. They're still dealing with that eminent domain situation where the city is trying to take their land. Um, and they practically done that. So we were very effective, in our commentary, in our public comments. However, as I mentioned, it seems that, the council will listen while we speaking. For the most part, they're attentive, but when they go back and change it, in chambers, it's just like they don't hear a word we saying because they don't act on it, they don't discuss it. And one of the ways I found that out is that as I spoke concerning for the third time, asking the council to provide free lift rides for senior citizens. After I spoke, a little bit later, I went down to constituent services to get some copies made. And as I left out of there, oh my goodness, I encountered my council person for my district, Faroki. And I engaged him in conversation, and he immediately let me know that he had not even given that situation a second thought. And when I approached him with it, he said, "Well, there's not money for that." And I'm saying, "What do you mean there's not money for that? You got millions and millions of dollars. Why you say that?" "Well, there's not money for that. There are other things we're doing." So he actually let me know that he had not even visited the idea. So I let him know that, you know, I reiterated the fact about Fulton County, the program that they have, where people over 55 and over can apply. You could take 2 rides a day, up to 16 rides a month. You go 9 miles or 15 miles if it's medical or pharmacy related. And as I told him this, he said, "Well, I have to look into that Fulton County issue." So all that told me is that, reiterate what I'm saying. These people do not pay attention to what we're saying in public comment. It like goes in one end, come out the other.
Let me
Something called
let me ask you this. We
Mhm.
talked earlier, and I talked to brother Dewan Robinson, and he was very upset about this. He talked about when you asked council member of District 10, Andrea Boone, a question about Darren Village Apartments, the tenants, about testing their water. She said she want to test their water, and you brought up the question of, have you tested the water? How many units have you tested the water in? You
I
told me that you had no response.
I asked her, and as I was saying, I was hitting on, various topics. And when I got there and I said, Miss Boone, by the way, the water testing that you did, when are you expecting the results? Or did you do one unit or you did more than one unit? She looked at me, looked to her right, and spoke to somebody in, on the panel and did not even respond. I mean, she did not utter a word. And I specifically addressed her. I didn't address the full council. I said, Miss Boone.
And
She,
to go deeper, you have her cell phone number, and she has your cell phone number.
oh my God, don't mention it. I will call this woman and she'll act like she's very responsive to what I'm asking her. And then she'll automatically say, well, I'll call you right back. I'll call you right back. I never receive a return call. Never ever. So I've gotten used to the game, and that is something that she does.
Shame.
And with your experience with the, the lies, man, hey, I can't stomach it anymore. I
Shame.
already know where she's coming from. I already know where she's coming from.
Yeah, 100% understand. Let's take it over to brother Dewan Robinson so he can talk about his experience yesterday and what he spoke about. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, brother Davenport had asked me what was I going to talk about, so I had already informed him that I was wanting to talk about the AMI, and so I spoke on that,
Which
letting
is
them
which
know.
is break it down. We're gonna break it down for the people. The area medium income, which
Yeah, the
determines how
area medium.
just go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. You're right. Because Atlanta is number one for income inequality, and the the income was so low from the west side that they added Roswell to kind of raise it up because it was kind of shameful, man, because the real average income is like 12 to 14 thousand dollars over there. But when they add on Roswell, it kind of brings it up. And so council was kind of like, oh, we didn't know that. So they was engaged on that, but like Brother Davenport said,
Let's stop right there. How sick could it be for you to be a council member, an elected official, and to claim that you don't understand what the AMA is and how it operates and how it's calculated?
and they don't, man, like Brother Davenport. And I think what Brother Davenport is missing is, now I'll agree that they don't care, but I think that they don't know. And they don't want to say that they don't know. So it just goes on deaf ears because they don't know, man. These people are not, like, you don't have to be educated to run for council, So these people are not, I mean, they don't even care to learn what's really going on outside of their district or what's going on in their district. But I figured out, I think how we can be successful is, I think we got to go in there um, with some numbers. And I think we have to, like Brother Davenport mentioned, Councilman Boone, I think we have to go in there and call them out because I watched one of the young boy, the young activist. He called out Michael Julian Bond and called him a liar and a thief. And Council President Shipman made him respond. So what? So they exposed some things yesterday, Brother Lee, that you don't even have to. I don't even have to ask you to yield my time. You can ask a council member for extra time. I didn't know that. Maybe you know that, but you can you can ask a council member. Each council member can give you extra time to speak also.
True.
So
They have to
with
grant.
that,
Yeah.
huh?
They have to grant that time, and they rarely do.
Well,
They
I
don't
mean, you
have
got a
to.
relationship.
They
If you got a
don't have to.
relationship, if you got a relationship with one, and you say, "Hey, Ms. Waits, would you give me 2 minutes?" And if she say, "Yeah," council president got to do that. But if we call them out because it's on the news, you can make them respond. They have to respond. The council president has a duty to make them respond to your claim. But we got to start. It can't just be me, you, brother Davenport, me and brother Davenport, me and you, or you and brother Davenport. Hey man, we got to be down there at least 10 deep or better. You know what I'm saying? With all us speaking of different issues or the same issue in intellectual, and we can hold a butt to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Because this will be recorded on the news, and we can make them answer as opposed to just talking and don't nobody have to be held accountable. We can call out whatever council member we need to, and the president will make them respond. But I think we got to be on them at every meeting. Like we can't miss meeting. We got to have at least 5, 6 people or more. We know people got stuff to do, but we got to try to at least have as many people as we can, man, at these meetings and hold these people accountable, man. Because if not, man, they're just gonna keep doing what they doing and turn a blind eye and not giving a damn.
That's a great strategy. That's a great strategy. That other groups, social groups, and racial groups, that's what they do. Outside of having their own legal governing body, 501c4 governing body.
You know, Brother Lee, let me chime in right there, and you're absolutely right, because I recall when you actually, were filing for your 501c3, and you were saying, Brother Davenport, what we need to do, we need to put our requests on paper, let them know, and let them know, just like these other organizations. And you called out one, and that was the Latinos. Matter of fact, tonight at the budget hearing, I was the first speaker. After me, after a couple of Latinos came up, and to Brother DeWan's note, exactly when Mr. Juan was actually presiding over the budget hearings, when those Latinos were up there, they were reading their speeches, and the presider actually told them, well, after your 2 minutes is up, if you're not done with your presentation and I see you all reading, you can leave your wording right there on the counter and we'll pick it up and we'll address it. I had never seen that before.
That's what I was talking about.
I had never seen that before. Then two people did it again. So before I left, I got my flyers and I laid them on that counter. Just like on yesterday, I actually, after the lady, what her name is, Washington, made her presentation, she passed them all out to the council. I did that same thing. And I asked that guy, I said, man, will you pass these out to the council? He was reluctant at first. And I said, hey, at your leisure. And when you put it on paper, they'll pay attention a little bit to it. Now they are act like it. But as long as you got it on paper, okay?
Let me say something else with the group. They are part of what we call the sister cities. And the sister cities, like I said, they are an established 501c4 organization governing body. So what they do, they have an active contract relationship with the country, America, with the state, with the county, with the city. They have an actual agreed upon contract. So, and these are things that we are missing as a people. But since we are missing as a people, and since that education is so deep, what we are forced to do, us few, we have to find a whole new strategy and a whole new way to find justice. And it is out here. And our only way we're going to find that justice is through the court system. That's the only way, the only other way, without having a governing body. So that's what we're here for tonight. We're gonna talk about that education.
Okay, now in you saying that, And backing up what Brother DeWan had said, exactly. When I got there, I got there early tonight for the budget hearings, and the little reception area was kind of packed. There were like 15 to 20 women wearing red, and these were the women on the rides of Georgia. So I found, me, I'm snooping around, find out who these people are and what are they doing. And as I asked a couple of people, and then they actually, two people directed me to the campaign organizer. The lady's name is Indy Easley. And I approached her, let her know a couple of things that you and I had kicked around, for instance, sitting in on the mayor's office and protesting the governor. And she listened. She said, well, Mr. Davenport, email me, and let's see if we can come together. But Mr. One, you're absolutely right. When we go in numbers, She didn't leave while I was there. She had not spoken. But there was one lady, a point person. And after she spoke, it was like the whole hall just applauded. When we go in, we need to build and go in numbers. And it doesn't necessarily have to be people who are affiliated with Me Into Unity, because as I mentioned before, the young Atlanta leaders, Hannah and them, they've all agreed that, from time to time when they're available, they would back us. So numbers are key when we go down there to speak. It's very key, especially when you have two people and they don't have to be in succession. But if you have 3 or 4 or 5 people talking about similar topics, it's a little bit more effective. And especially here again, if when you got it on paper.
You got it on paper, and that's great. That's a great strategy that we need to really put into action soon. But also, we got to get this education to our people. These people are our people, us. We're dealing with slumlords. We're dealing with unjust housing problems and issues, illegal housing issues. And the problem is, our people, we keep waiting on someone to come save us, and we are our own saviors. We have that right as American citizens, as residents of Georgia. We have the right to take any action legally in court. And that's what we're not doing. That's why they're pushing us out. On yesterday, Sister Adrienne Coleman had posted up a link from a news report, I believe Channel 46, talking about the people of Midtown, saying they will be pushed out in 30 days.
It was 11.
Huh?
I think it was Channel 11.
By July 1st, these people, working people who have not done anything to break the agreement of their lease, they were told by their leasing office management that they have to be out by July 1st. And they're paying what, $1,200 to what, $1,300 a month?
Yes. Right. Now those are Crescent apartments right in Midtown on 13th Street. And these people are working people. And to back up what you're saying, Selig Properties own those properties and told those people they had to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it had something to do with Google.
They want to make a profit. There you go. Developers coming in for Google, because we got Google and Microsoft coming. They're buying up all the land. They're making way for Google and Microsoft. But the thing is, that's illegal. If you look at the Georgia landlords and tenant laws, that's illegal. And that's what our people understand. That's a magistrate court issue.
But as you mentioned, though, nobody ever challenges it.
Nobody challenges it. And that's what they depend on. They get scared and just leave. When the lease officer has time to go, don't even read their rental agreement, their lease. They just leave. They don't want no trouble. So that's what we're here for. We got to push that knowledge out. That's the part. That's going to be a part of our strategy. Our strategy is letting us know, us as Atlanta residents know, that we have the power to fight back. We don't have to wait on a lawyer. We don't have to wait on an elected official. We have the power in our capacity to legally fight back. Don't have to be rich. Don't have to have all this money to pay for these big time lawyers. You can go on your own, which is known as pro se. And we're going to get into that. We have the literature. We're going to bring it up. We're going to talk about pro se. which means you represent yourself. We're going to talk about if you're low income, that you can do a poverty affidavit. That means you're going to fill out a form at the courthouse that says that you cannot afford to pay legal fees. And if you fall in a certain bracket, then the court will waive your fees. And you have the right to file your claim against slumlords, management, landlords, whoever is breaking the laws or the Georgia tenant and landlord laws. So we're going to get into that. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about the events of yesterday before we get into that education?
But before you do that, let me ask you this: Have you revisited conversation, engaged with Ed Williams as far as coming on and participating with us with our live stream?
Brother Ed Williams has already stated that he is 100% with us. He's actually waiting on us.
Okay,
So
let's engage him right away.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. So let's get into this. Let's first hold on. We got another guest coming in. Oh, our sister coming in.
Hey, bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead,
I wanted
brother.
to say something as well. As we know that this is probably the most diverse council board in our time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we got 2, maybe 3 of the white folks on council that is interested in running for mayor soon. So, a lot of times stuff don't get done unless one of the white folks move the envelope and then the blacks want to try to follow. So I think we need to play a chess move with Faroki because he got plans on running for mayor. He's gonna lose some of his district when they redistrict. And we know Doug Shipman gonna run for mayor. Doug Shipman had more black votes in this council president election than Dre did for mayor. So we got to pay attention to that, and we got to use that. We know Shirley put Doug Shipman over the Civil Rights Museum where he helped raise $20 million for that. So he wants to be mayor, and they're gonna groom him to be mayor. So if we can push for him to do some of these black agendas, use somebody like him, Faroki, Matt Westmoreland, who's what do you call it? He's a district. He don't have a district. He's an at large. So we use him, Keisha Wade, and Bond, and kind of like put them on the hot seat. Like Brother Davenport said, give them the paper. All of them have to read the paper. Once you give it to them, it's like you sending a mail. It's like you serving them. So all of them have to get it and read it. But I think we should go after our white counterparts. We know Mary might not gonna do nothing, and Shook ain't gonna do nothing. But we can put Alex Warren on the hot seat. Faroki and Doug Shipman, I think we can put on the hot seat because I think that's from me knowing politics and that's watching this group. I think that there's 8 people on council that if we continue to put enough heat on their ass, we can get them to side with us. All we need is 8 votes. We can, what I'm saying? We can get whatever passed. The mayor can't stop us. Can't nobody stop us if we concentrate on 8 city councilmen. There's 15 of them. All we need is 8. Just to vote their conscience and do what's right. And I'm telling you, it's 8 people on that council that will do what's right because they love politics and they need the people to continue to vote for them. And out of them 8, they don't have a strong base to raise a lot of money. So that way we can always play on that part that they need the people vote.
Let me say this. That's great strategy. And I agree with you. And I know that you are very well educated in politics. Me and you, we sit back and we politic and we come up with strategy. But at this point, we're in a crisis. We can't afford to lay back. We done went to them. We done gave them opportunities to do the right thing. Now, our people out here homeless. Our people have died off. we can go to the mortuary and we can get the numbers of how many families have died in Atlanta that's been covered under the rug when the last winter hit because they were pushed out. So we can't afford to play politics right now. Right now, we got to take the gloves off. We got to go straight at the people.
Oh, well, no, I wasn't talking about for this issue. I'm just saying in general. No, you're right. No, you're right. I wasn't saying like beg them and play this strategy right now. You're right, because we are the crisis. I'm just saying in the future. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, like the future. Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you on all strategies. Anything that's going to help us as the people, I'm with you on that. And like I said, that's a great strategy. But for this housing injustice that we're dealing with as a people and how hard of a hit we're taking, it's hitting all over Atlanta. And the fact that our city council members, our Fulton County commissioners, and our state representatives are not standing up and to their duties that we elected them for, that we are paying them for at our sales tax dollars, and they sit here skinning and grinning in our face and ignoring us, we got to take the gloves off. So it's time to come at them hard. We got to take the gloves off. And the people have to understand, like I said, we have to understand our rights. How do we take the gloves off? How do we defend ourselves legally in a time like this, in a crisis? We went through this back with Maynard Jackson. We went through this with the Olympics. We didn't know what to do. We trusted. He was what? The first black male. We were so happy. We trusted him. And we see the results of that. So we got to take the gloves off. Let's get into this education. Everybody good? Y'all ready to get into the education?
Yeah, let me say something about what you just mentioned, that last thing you just mentioned about Maynard Jackson and everybody with the Olympics. And I thought about this and I thought about this. All that money that flowed through, then they turned around and asked people to volunteer. However, a lot of people got paid. That was something wrong with that picture. They asked people to volunteer to serve as ambassadors, showing people coming to town, this, that, and other. However, you had people who were connected, who were in their clique, who got paid. And that was some low down, dirty playing. But I just wanted to point that out. And that same thing still happens today. And this is part leading up to what we're dealing with right now. What these politicians are getting paid by these companies who own these properties, putting people out, gentrification and all of this. They know this was coming, but they sold us out. Just like what you're talking about, Brother Lee. They sold us out. They already knew this stuff was coming. All these big old buildings, Norfolk Southern got that big pretty design. I look at it all the time. They already knew this was coming. So you're right, man. We gotta do something, because before this year is out, we gonna have so many working homeless people. It's sad, and it's not just Atlanta. It's all over this country.
True. Brother Jabari, I'm gonna ask you to step up and volunteer. Brother Davenport, you also say you want to volunteer to help read some of this literature, as I explained after you get through reading. So we'll start off with Brother Jabari.
All right. Council members are empowered to make policy decisions and to approve ordinances, resolutions, and other local legislation to govern the health, welfare, comfort, and safety of the city's residents. City Council sets policy guidelines for the administrative and fiscal operations of the city.
Thank you so much, brother.
Indeed.
They are not living up to their duties. This is in plain writing the duties of not just our city council, but all our elected officials. But I choose the city council to bring this knowledge up because that's what we've been dealing with in the city of Atlanta. Dealing with Andrea Boone, dealing with Overstreet, dealing with at-large member Bond, and Andre Dickens before he became a mayor.
Oh my God.
The problems of the people there in Village have been going on. This is nothing new. We have to understand as a people, what are we voting for? We ain't just voting for black skin and Democrat, or we ain't just voting for a political party. We're voting for them to do their duties. But sadly enough, our people don't understand the duties of an elected official. They just go vote to get a sticker. We have to hold these people to their duties. Now let me ask how you feel about this. Go ahead, Brother James Davenport.
Before you move further, that was just read was exactly what was brought up in the budget hearings tonight. People were actually standing up and letting them know that this is your duty to set policies concerning for your constituents, not for special interests. And people were repeating that over and over again. And so I think at this first time I attended a budget hearing, but with all those people who were engaged before I left, I only stayed like an hour. To the person, every other person came out stating exactly what was just read. So, okay, now you got something
Brother
else that you want me to do.
You good. Brother DeJuan Robinson, how you feel about this?
Did we lose him?
No, I was waiting on my mic to unmute. Hey man, I think we need to I think that's one of the messages that we need to hammer home every time we go down there, because I guarantee you, if we stand all 15 up, they won't quote this. I guarantee, because they're not running for office based on these principles. So we need to hold them accountable to these principles, which is, you know what I'm saying, which is why they, you know what I'm saying, took oath and why they got elected. So I definitely think we need to hammer this every time we go down there. This need to be the start. This need to be the starting speech.
True. Have somebody say this every time, start off with this right here, the responsibility and the duties of their office.
Man,
so we agree. Anybody from Men to Unity that's going down to council to speak at any time, we put it on paper, and everybody knows what whomever's going to speak is going to speak about.
All right, so let's let everybody comment on this. Cuzzo Nico, how you feel about this?
Well, going back on what DeJuan said, I definitely think that this needs to be pushed. And what Davenport said, I think that that's great that people are aware of this. We got to make sure that as many people as possible are aware of this. And that's my opinion on that.
All right. Brother Farmer P, how you feel about this? He's still with us. He probably on mute. You're on mute, brother, if you want to get a comment in.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Yes, I agree. We need to get a word out about it, and let the public know what's going on with the elected officials.
All right, 100. Brother Jabbar, how you feel about this?
I definitely agree with making sure, you know, I mean, with basically all the sentiments that was expressed, you know, going down there with more unity, focusing on getting more numbers. The portion that you just had me read, I definitely think whatever group of people, or at least one, to be able to say that, you know, sets the precedent every time, you know, this group or whatever groups we're aligned with present ourselves, you know, to make sure that they understand, or at least we're putting it on the table, what we're holding them accountable to as taxpaying citizens. And just add to the one of the points that one of the brothers was making was the aspect of us as constituents. And I think that this goes twofold to what you're saying right now, as far as in addressing what's urgent, the state of crisis that we're in as a people right now. And then at the same time, the you know, as far as short term, mid-term, and long term, is even though we are constituents, generally the even when it comes to elected officials, by default, we can say, you know, they're the elected officials for us as, you know, being a part of whatever constituency, but generally other constituencies that actually get things done for themselves and on their behalf, they organize themselves as body politics. And that's what we're lacking when we go in there. We go in there as a bunch of individuals, you know, so, you know, and even if we're going in there as an organization, that's where numbers come in. So I think even while we're campaigning and we're working to educate the people, at the same time, I think we also need to, at the very least, be recruiting from the ranks of our own people, for people to be on deck. And of course, the education educates them why, but to be on deck to say, okay, well, hey, we're gonna need your assistance or your support in I guess you could say in how they may cast their ballot. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go down there to, even if it's 3 people representing, if they know it's an organization that can garner 2,000 votes from the community, which that shouldn't be a thing if we really boots on the ground and reaching people and pressing hands with people, that, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, even just with Darren Village, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's a couple of hundred people in there just from the love that they get from you know, from Me Until Unity and et cetera, you know, other organizations, other organized people, you know, who are actually going there to try to assist them on any group, you know what I'm saying, in our communities, wherever it is they're around Atlanta. Just from the support that they get from people who do it from a genuine place, I'm sure that they'd be willing to say, okay, well, hey, I cast my vote for this person or that person, such and such, if it can go towards being able to say, you know, from Me Until Unity can come with 600 votes, you know what I mean, like, or 1,000 votes or whatever, like, just simple numbers like that can demand the attention of a councilman or a councilwoman, just because they know that number right there can decide whether they in office or not next term. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so it's multifaceted, but I definitely agree with everything that's been said, and especially the making sure that this is read, so that way, like I said, we just set the precedent so they understand where we're coming from and that we're coming to hold them accountable in a certain way, aside from the legal aspect of everything that you have been already saying, Lee.
100. That's one. So let's move on. Brother Davenport, you get the next.
Brother Lee, let me expound about something that he just mentioned, and I was thinking it before he even said it. And if we can all agree, let's all invite somebody to listen and or with the intent for them becoming a part of what we're doing.
So at the end of this meeting, we're going to talk about the strategies on that. Right now, we want to get the education. So we want to read the education, the literature, and we want to get everybody that's on this live stream opinion on it, to get the people who are watching this a better understanding of it. And at the end of the meeting, we'll talk about the strategies on how we move.
Okay.
All right. So let's go to the next one, Brother Davenport. It's on you.
Okay. No, this wording is small.
Litigants. You probably can't see. Well, let Brother Jabbar get. Brother Jabbar, can you get this one too?
Yes, sir.
That's very small for me.
All right. All right. It says litigants or parties representing themselves in court without the assistance of an attorney are known as pro se litigants. Pro se is Latin for in one's own behalf. The right to appear pro se in a civil case in federal court is defined by Statute 28 USC.
Thank you so much. Now that's coming from the federal level, letting us know as American citizens, we have the right to represent ourselves. Now, the first piece of literature we read talked about our elected officials not doing their job. Anytime that elected officials don't do their job, we have the right as citizens. That's why in the Constitution said, we the people, we have the right to go and file lawsuits against any person. We just seen Khadijah, Fulton County Commissioner District 6, filed lawsuits against her counterparts, her other council members, commissioners. We have that right. We don't have to wait for no lawyer. We don't have to wait for nobody else to do that. We have that right if there is an injustice. If they fall short of their duties, if a landlord falls short of their duties, anyone who has a legal contract fall short of their duties, we have the right to represent ourselves in court to protest that. And that's our legal rights. Brother Davenport started out. How you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I totally agree, and we need to pursue those avenues because of the fact that, well, that's what capitalism stands for. You know, you got a right to do anything up under this Constitution, just like any and everybody else, besides the fact that we are black, and that's something that I hover on. You know, the greatest lie of all, with liberty and justice for all. But other than that, yes, I do agree. Let's push it. Let's push it. Let's push it. Push it until we can't push it anymore. Because if we don't, just like you say, Burley, we're being pushed out in the cold, and we're gonna continue to be pushed out in the cold unless we stand up and fight back.
That's 100. I agree with that 100%. Brother DeJuan Robinson, how you feel about it?
I agree. I agree, man. We got to hold these truths to them. And I think that, once the public know, because, it goes back, man, I hate to go back, but I know a lot of us probably don't think about this
Go back.
in this way. When Maynard first ran for mayor, it was different times because it was black versus white. So they didn't have much time to educate the public and do that. So everybody was voting black because they wanted a black mayor. And what they set forth was, which was brilliant, but it did a lot of damage to the public because the people don't know. So it was, hey, when my time is up, hey, Andy, you go. Hey, Andy, when your time is up, hey, we're going to appoint who we want to be mayor. So which was cool because it kept black leadership in power, but it left out the education. They didn't hold the black guys accountable who they made millionaires. They didn't put steps in to reach back.
And let me add this. Who spoke against that? Your doctor, Reverend Jose Williams, Reverend James George, Alan Pat, they were speaking against that foolishness back then.
That's right.
So it goes back to Hosea Williams, because that's how I started. He came to Born Home and needed some people to hold signs. But what happened was, like when Hosea said, damn, hey, we got black mayor and folks asking me for money for food. So what happened was, when they seen this brother create the Feed the Hunger program, what should have happened was to make sure that the people no longer have to go hungry. And you had your guy, what's your guy name that was dealing with all the housing, the black guy that made a millionaire, Russell. Like they should have had, they should have been had places for the homeless to go way back then. But Maynard them and Andy them didn't hold those accountable. They created like 25 black millionaires within the first 4 years of his term. But those 25 black millionaires, including Russell them, they supposed to made at least 50 or 75 and let Maynard create 25 new millionaires. That would have had 100 millionaires within 10 years. You would have had 100 black millionaires within 10 years. But the people didn't get the education. You know what I'm saying? Because they was like, oh, we vote for Andy this time.
They were trying to get an education. Those millionaires they made did it off the backs with our community development block grant money, sold us out. And that's why we're in the situation that we are in now.
Yes, right. That's why we're in the situation that we in right now. And it's like one thing Miss Darden said yesterday, and I respect Miss Darden, but Miss Darden should have took that $500,000 they offered her years ago. You know what I'm saying? She let folks trick her into thinking she can sue the city for 1.2. She owed and not realizing that even if you win a lawsuit for 1.2, you're not gonna take home 1.2.
You can't blame her. You got to blame Tanya Washington, who is.
Oh no, that's who putting that battery in her back. You're right. I don't. Hey, listen. That's why I say I respect Miss Darden. I would never speak out against her in public. Right. I would never speak out against her in public. I respect my elders. I respect. But that's why I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's just like so with these things y'all going over, just to get back on topic, we hold them accountable to that. I think we can hijack them, and we got them, because now, just like when Felicia Moore ran for mayor, they kept putting out there the things she voted on. and her voting record came back to bite her in the ass, amongst other stuff. I think with these council members, if we keep putting the truth out there and reminding them, hey, these are your duties above anything else, and educating the public. See, we have to educate the public, man, on what these people are supposed to be
That's what
doing.
this is about. And that's what this piece right here is talking about. Everything that has been negligent on our elected officials, get a list of that, go into public records, get the list, and go into court individually, fight for your own individual ballot. As a resident, as a citizen, find your own individual ballot. This is what this legislation is about. This is what this piece is about. Thank you so much for your comment, Brother DeJuan Robinson. Cousin Nico, how you feel about it?
Well, I think that you know, the ultimate goal for these capitalists, these white capitalists, these people who run the show, you know, government officials, they want you to stay ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I'm 25 years old. I'm just not learning about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's our goal to really educate ourselves on the bullshit that we missing out on. Excuse my French. I'm so sorry. It's up to us to educate ourselves on all the stuff that we missing out on, because I mean, if we don't, then they're gonna take advantage of that, like they always do. And I feel like that, you know, a lot of people are when I say brainwashed, I say, yeah, brainwashed into thinking that they have to just abide by rules just because somebody has this authority type of label on them. Like y'all said, the people who own the apartments, who kicking them out illegally, they just think, okay, I need to follow that. No, we need to do our research on that before you just agree to just do anything that these people tell you to do. Ask yourself, what's the motive? You always gotta ask yourself, what's the motive? Because everybody has a motive.
Ask yourself, what's the legal rights? What are your legal rights as a tenant? Learn the Georgia laws. If you're a resident of Georgia, if you're a renter, you need to learn the Georgia laws, at least basic knowledge. You need to read your lease, read your rental agreement. What does it say? How can you just come in and kick me out when I have no infractions on my lease and tell me I got to leave in 30 days? That's the question that we need our people to ask themselves. And we need them to find the answer. And this is a simple Google. This ain't no, I went to the law library and studied for 7 hours. This is a simple Google. We need our people to be on that level. Thank you so much, Brother Nico, for your comment. Farmer P, how you feel about it, Brother Farmer P?
I think he's muted.
He gonna get off. It just take a little time. Brother Jabari, how you feel about it? We'll get some time.
Ask that question one more time. You said how I feel about the what again?
My bad, I was on mute. How do you feel about representing yourself pro se and having that power to represent yourself without having to go get a lawyer, just knowing that you have that right, that our people have that right?
I feel like that's it's very empowering. You know what I'm saying? Like to know that you can that there's a way for you to stand up for yourself, basically.
Appreciate that. We appreciate it. Let's move right along. Brother Jabari, you may have to read the next one because I don't think Brother Davenport can see it.
I can go with I can go with this one.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I got my magnifier.
Read yourself, Brother Jabari.
Okay, I can still read. Oh.
It says, under Georgia law, a landlord can provide a tenant with notice to vacate the unit in 60 days and choose the date on which the tenancy will terminate. The landlord is not required to give 60 days of notice to a tenant at will who has defaulted in rental payments.
So let's talk about this. This saying that if you don't, a lot of our people out here, they will go for anything, illegal evictions, because they don't have a lease, because their lease has been terminated a month ago, 6 months ago, and they're still paying rent that they don't have no legal rights. They just got to fall at the mercy of the landlord or the leasing office, which that is not true. They are a tenant at will. Tenant at will have rights. You have basically the same rights as a person with a lease. It's just not defined. So you still have the rights to say they got to fix the appliances. You can't live in an unsafe environment. You still have the right to say, if you want me to leave the premises and I've been paying my rent and I have not did anything or any kind of infraction, that we have to go to court. You can't just send a sheriff to my house. You can't just kick me out and put my stuff on the street until the judge says it's okay. And even when the judge and magistrate court says it's okay, we still have 7 days to appeal it, and it goes to Superior Court. These are the things that we have to know. We cannot keep falling the victim because we feel like, well, my lease was terminated, so I was paying the same rent or more, but I didn't have no lease, so I just felt like for the police come, I'ma leave. I done heard this 100 times, but that's not the case. You are a tenant at will. Brother Davenport, speak on how you feel about that.
Well, I'm glad you asked me, because let's deal with that, and let's look at what just happened. That Adrian Coleman, she's a heck of a journalist, just pointed out. The people at the Crescent Apartments, they will give 30 days to vacate those premises. The realtor, Selig Enterprises, actually told these people that they had to vacate. So that sort of like contradicts what this statement is saying.
It's illegal. That's what that's saying. That's illegal. That's exactly what that's saying. What they did to the people of Midtown is illegal. Go ahead.
So now, that being said, so their recourse would be to go ahead and file suit against these owners.
There you go.
But do they know to do this?
They don't know to do this. That's why they was on the news talking about, well, I wish they would have gave us 60 days or 90 days, because they don't know their rights. They had one white guy on there saying that, well, at least he gonna go stay with his fiance, but he feels sorry for the other people don't have nowhere else to go. So they don't know. It ain't just a black thing. It's us as a residents of Atlanta. Majority, we don't know our legal rights. We don't know we can go to magistrate court and fight this.
And
because
here again,
we don't know our rights.
Here again, those words: stand up and fight back. Stop laying down and just let them, stick it in, so to speak.
But they have don't talk in that. But they have to be educated. Threw me off. But they have to be educated.
That one slipped, but it is what it is. What Ray Charles said, do what it do. But yes, exactly.
You done lost your talking time, Brother DeWarren Robinson. Go ahead.
Wow. Oh man, yeah, that's communicated, man. Okay. But yeah, I totally agree, man. I really do, because we got
go ahead, Brother DeWarren. He done lost his talking time. Go ahead, Brother DeWarren Robinson. Brother, okay, go ahead, bro.
What is it? What is it you want me to share?
So did you did hear the reading? It's what's on the screen. We're talking about tenant at will. How do you feel about knowing that just because a tenant does not have a lease, because their lease may have ended 6 months ago, a month ago, but they're still paying equal rent? They don't have any infractions, knowing that a landlord still cannot just kick them out, or a leasing office can't still just kick them out. They still have to go to magistrate court.
Oh yeah. Hey man, listen, that is another thing, man, that I guess, and it goes back, and I don't say I hate to use it, because I live a lot by, but hey man, our people suffer for lack of knowledge, man. So, and that's the truth. And we have the damn tenants have more power than the landlord, because the landlord, it's a while for them to go to court, especially now. So even if it wasn't this season, man, I hate when people turn their keys in and listen to the management office and be like, oh, you need to be out of here in 30 days. See, people think because they done messed up, they got to go. Even if you done messed up, man, you still have rights. And
you got a day in court. Yep.
Yeah, but you still got to have your day in court, man. And,
right.
And that's one thing that we got to just stress and just harp on our people. Do not leave. It costs them more money to put you out. Do not leave. Let them go to court. Do not leave.
There you go. There you go. Cousin Nico, how you feel about this?
Yeah, I feel like it's empowering that we're giving out this information. That's my take on it.
100%. Love that. Love that. Former Peter, you want to get something in on it? Or you want to pass?
Yeah, I pass.
All right, 100%. Go ahead, brother Jabbar. Finish it off if you want to, or you can pass.
I'll pass.
All right, 100%. Okay, brother Giant Davenport, go ahead and take this. Can you see it?
Okay, you can sue your landlord when your landlord discriminates against you. Your landlord takes your security deposit illegally. Your rental unit is inhabitable. The property owner interferes with your right to quiet enjoyment. Your landlord fails to make the necessary repairs.
Now,
You can
haven't we seen this all over Atlanta? Our people, Darien Village, Forest Cove, Allen Temple, all kind of apartments all over Atlanta, especially in districts 1, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12, going through the same situation, going to housing code, calling elected officials. Nothing has been done. And they all, at the same time, all while they've been doing that, had the right to take them to court and get justice. But they just didn't know it. This is the knowledge that we have to get to our people. You can bypass your elected official. Now, I'm not saying, because let me tell you something. It's always good to have on record, send an email to your elected official. Get city code out there first to condemn it, to say that it's the problem, because they will at least do that. They may not act on it. They may, the city council may hold them up from your court case, but you have the right, once you get that from city code, when they give you that piece of paper saying, yes, you do have these infractions and we're going to give the landlord or the leasing office so long to comply with this. Even if they don't stand up on their end, you have a piece of paper which is evidence to where you can take it to court. And you can get justice. You got an open and shut case. This is what our people have to know. Brother Jane Davenport, how you feel about that?
Yeah, this reminds me of back in the mid '80s when I rented an apartment over there in MLK Village, and I was living in the high rise. The air conditioning went out, and our air conditioning, my air conditioning was out for about 2 to 3 weeks. And I was working at the Standard Club at this time, and there was a judge who was a member of the Standard Club. Some of y'all may recognize this name, Judge Joel Fry. And Judge Fry told me, he said, well, in my opinion, you don't have to pay all your rent. You can hold out some of your rent. If your air conditioning is not working and it's in your lease that it is supposed to be operable, you do not have to pay part of your rent. And so, yes, this hits the nail on the head. People needs to know that they do not have to comply with that leasing agreement if the landlord does not own up to what's supposed to be done according to that lease. People don't know these things. But believe me, and you've been dealing with this stuff for a long time, trying to educate people as far as what to do and what not to do. Stop being
But
scared.
here's the thing with that. We haven't went far enough, and now we got to take the gloves off and go all the way out with it.
Yeah, let's do it, because
That's what we have to do.
it's past time to do it, because we're seeing the effect now, because they're really pouring it on. I mean, they pouring it on now, and like I'm saying, before the years out, we're gonna see so many homeless working people. It's sad.
Brother, thank you for that comment. Brother DeJuan, do you want to comment or you want to pass?
Hold on, I need to charge it. Okay.
I think he want to pass. Let's go ahead and all right, Cousin Nico, pass or comment?
All I gotta say is don't accept mistreatment. Don't accept mistreatment from none of these landlords. And abide by what they're saying.
I appreciate that comment. Farmer P, pass or comment?
No intentions of reaching their hand back.
Farmer P, you want to pass or you want to comment?
Pass.
100%. 100. Brother Jabari, pass a comment. Brother Jabari, pass a comment. I think he'll pass. So we coming down to our last one. This is our last literature, educational literature for the night. Brother Davenport, do us the honors, the last one.
Okay, how long do you have to move out after an eviction notice? Georgia law allows a landlord to evict a tenant for not paying rent on time. You must give the tenant notice that rent is due, and the tenant must refuse to pay the rent before you can file an eviction lawsuit with the court.
The last part said what? Even if they have not paid,
They still have to file an eviction lawsuit with the court.
With
It
the court.
still has to go through the court.
This is in Georgia. This is Georgia law.
And 90% of people do not know that.
Don't know it. Get the hell on, scared. The police coming. Running like slaves. We don't know our rights. We got to push our rights. We got to let us as the people know our power. Stop being scared. Fear comes from what? Ignorance. Since we ignorant to the law, we scared of the law.
Ignorance to the law.
This is what we got to go. Brother DeWan, comment or pass?
Pass. I'm sorry, I've been having a it haven't been unmute for me, but I pass.
Handle your business. Appreciate you. Cuz on Nico, comment or pass?
All I gotta say is I agree with James Davenport on what he said, and yeah, don't let these tenants play you, like I said before, and that's my statement on that.
The landlords, don't let the landlords pay you the leasing.
Sorry
All right,
about
thank you, Cuzzo. Former P, comment or pass?
Comment. I think we need to get the handbook to the people.
Now we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that as soon as we end. We got a whole thing. We'll talk about that. So that's why I'm getting through with this. This is our last literature piece, education literature piece. We're gonna talk about that.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Brother Jabari, comment or pass?
I'll pass.
All right. So let's get into that. Let's take this screen down. Okay. So this is a strategy. I'm glad that what Farmer P said. We're starting off with Brother Farmer P, what he said. We have the Housing Justice League. What's that? The eviction defense manuals that breaks this stuff down so beautifully, so perfectly. I thank them so much. They gave me 75 copies. They say they have many more. We're going to reach back out to the Housing Justice League and see if we can get more of those eviction defense manuals. Now, what we will be doing, we will have a petition. We're going to start a petition up that requests our elected officials to make legislation to protect us and hold them to their duties. That's one thing we're going to do. The next thing, what we're going to do, what we already said, we're going to get those defense manuals out. Now, we're going to hit main points. So we'll be all over the city in areas that are needed. So that's District 1, Atlanta District 3, 4, 19, 11, and 12. We're going to hit those main points. Another thing we're going to do, what Brother James Davenport talked about, is to sit in with the mayor. We're going to stay in the mayor's face. We're going to stay in their business. That's our city hall. That's our public city hall. It's for us Atlanta residents. We will stay there. We will sit there day in, day out. We will do press conferences. We got a march coming up. We're organizing it. We got to get that together. Any suggestions, anything I said, or any extra suggestions that anyone want to add to the table? Nobody got any suggestions? Everybody good?
Yes.
Go ahead, brother.
We need to post on our Instagram about the volunteers to show up at the courthouse.
Let's do it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna that's the social media presence is gonna be heavy. We're gonna need that social media presence. That's one of our main things. Thank you so much for pointing that out. We're gonna have to stay on top of that Instagram, because mostly I be on Facebook and YouTube, but we got to make sure that we get to that Instagram, and if we can't, even TikTok. So we got to get on that. Make sure that make sure, Brother Farm P, that you remind me of that and put that in the WhatsApp chat group to make sure we stay on top of that. Thank you so much for that comment. Where else we at? We good? We good? Can we wrap it up, or what we looking like? Y'all ready to wrap it up?
No, don't wrap it up yet, because I'd like for us to be solid on this thing about bringing people in, because there's strength in numbers, and we need to grow. As we see now, what we got 5-6 people on board, but we do need to grow, and we need to agree. I'd like to make the recommendation that everybody invite somebody, if it's only one, but invite as many as you can. If they don't do anything but take a look at what we're doing, but at least invite somebody, so that's the way that we grow. Sometimes we can't get people who just stumble on what we're doing, but we need to invite people who we know, or are go-getters, people who already are doing something.
And if they not go-getters, if they just tired of dealing with it, if they know a loved one, a family member, a personal experience, they are Atlanta resident. We got to get the lazy, the sorry, the everybody. We all need to be out here together fighting this.
Absolutely. So we just ask people, hey, this is what's going on. Are you ready to fight? Let's do it. Let's do this. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose out. We all gonna lose out.
We already losing too. Look at what we already lost. And I want to get them numbers too. I want to go down there to that morgue and get those numbers of the people who died. Those they call them Jane Does and John Does. That's usually your homeless that died of hypothermia. I want to get those numbers and present those numbers.
So what we call it? Marshall Ransford, didn't he have those numbers?
He the one who put it on my head. He the one who actually put it in my mind to even bring that situation up. But I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he got the numbers. But we need to go out there personally and get those numbers and do something, memorial or something to them.
And also, if it's my area, let's reach out to the folks at Crescent Apartments. Let these people know. Let's
do that. Yes.
Let's fight.
Yes.
Don't run. Let's fight. And without it just come to mind when the DA told the prices. I ain't got no dog in this hunt, but if it crossed my desk, I'm gonna do what I got to do. But no, I ain't got no dog in the hunt, but I'm interested in your well-being.
We do got a dog in the hunt. We got a dog in the fight. It's us. Anything that happens to one of us happen to all of us.
It happened to all of us.
Darn right. So we're gonna shut this down. We at an hour and 8 minutes. I don't like to go over an hour, to be honest with you. And we done what we came to do, we have conquered. So we're gonna have more live streams. It's time to get to work now. Time to get the action going.
Okay, that being said, Brother Lee, and then you did mention as far as making this available to this new group that I just came across. Apparently, they're not new, but I did speak to the young lady. Would you be willing to shoot her an email? And
yes, I will. We discussed that, and we're gonna link up with them and any other group that wants to come in. I don't have no problem with you talking to them and telling them they're welcome to come in.
Yes. So that being said, and I did let her know 2 actions that we're planning. One is the sit-in with the mayor, and the other one is attacking the governor.
Okay.
Because both factions are destroying our community, and we cannot let them continue to do this, man. We just gotta fight.
All right, so we finna wrap it up. Thank everyone for attending this meeting. Really appreciate y'all. We got a heavy fight up ahead, but we got to get at it. So let's do it. Y'all have a great night.
Hey, okay, and I'll shoot you that information. And tomorrow, Transportation Committee. I'm gonna be down there. It's at 9:30. I will be there in the morning. I'm gonna catch a lift ride. I'm going Transportation Committee. Same thing, lift rides.
There you go.
Matter of fact, Faroki is the chairman, and Antonio Lewis is the vice chairman.
All right. All right.
So I will be there.
See, you'll start choking. The higher power will start choking. You trying to tell you time to cut off now.
Man, you know you got a way with words.
It's trying to tell you. Let it go now.
You so bad.
Too much anything is a bad thing. Let it go.
You so bad. Yeah, man.
All right, brother.
Okay. Hey, everybody have a good night. I appreciate the engagement.
All right. All right.
Y'all.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Peace.